Hi, I'm back, and we are here with a week of, even though I told myself I was not going to do a week of this month just because there's a lot going on. I started the new vlog channel, and so my time is just stretched really thin these days, but I have a lot to do, and it almost feels like a shame to just not turn on the camera and take you guys with me. So we are going to do a week of this month. It is going to be a shorter one because it's already the end of the month, so I think I'm only going to do maybe a 3 or 4 day week of. But today is Saturday and I've already had a full day. It's almost nighttime. I think it's like 5:30. Okay, it's 5. It's almost 5. I've got to make dinner and stuff like that, but I have so many vessels that need to be washed and so many pots, and it has already taken over my small box of laziness. It has moved into my old big box of laziness and is also just scattered all over the floor. So today's only goal is to get things cleaned up and just kind of ready for the week. So I'll take you to the kitchen where I'll just time lapse me washing all the vessels. Hopefully it'll motivate you to wash your vessels because I know you have some. And then maybe if I am not in REM and sleeping with my eyes open, we'll come back in here and just tidy things up a little bit. It's actually not too bad, but I want things to be set for Monday. So if you have vessels to clean, pause this video, wrangle all your vessels, and let's clean together. Hey guys, so I took basically 2 days off. It's Monday night right now. Sunday I celebrated my husband's 36th birthday slash our early anniversary, our 10-year anniversary, which is actually tomorrow. And so took all Sunday off, and then pretty much all day today I've been sleeping. I had to take Ativan for the first time for a bad panic attack that I had last night, and the effects of it just like, yeah, it plagued me all day. And so I just felt like I was hooked up to an IV. I was so tired. I literally looked like I just rolled out of bed and felt like I needed to do something. So no makeup, no nothing, didn't even fix my hair, but we're here. And something that I really have wanted to get my hands on is my Eulerium Don Burnsiei. I think I'm saying that wrong, but we're gonna go with it. It is this guy that I got from Lauren not too long ago. You guys might remember I featured it very quickly, but it pushed out a new leaf and it is so cute. This is like one of my favorite plants right now. I think about this plant often and I just really want it to do well. So it's just in moss right now, and I have just been, I've just been dying to get it out of here. I do need to film another video this week for plants that like are really overdue for a repot. This was one of them, but I did want to do some repots in this week of as well, because there are so many that need to be repotted. I'm like not at a what is it? I'm not at a I can't think of the word. My brain's not working right now, but I definitely have way more plants that need to be repotted. So it's not like I'm not going to have enough for like a whole repot video. This one has been on my mind. I know that it's been squished up against that pot and that it's just in moss, which I really don't want it to be. And I'm excited to convert this to pon. I hope that it takes well to pon. My original thought was to do soil, but I actually don't have any more soil. I haven't purchased a bag of soil since 2021. My goal has been to only buy one bag of soil every year. So yeah, definitely hit that goal. So we're in 2023 now, and I definitely need to get a new bag. I won't get one as large. The last bag that I got was the really big Happy Frog bag from Fox Farms. I love that soil a lot, but yeah, the bag that I had was huge, and I want to only have to use maybe like one of the smaller bags. So maybe this week we'll run over to a nursery and just go grab some things that I need. I was hoping Vandula Farms would be open, but they don't open till I think about March for this season. So, okay, I'm still trying to really understand the growth pattern of this plant. I don't quite know what I'm looking at, to be honest. There's like a rhizome, kind of. And then there's all these like, what I think are new growth points, like this right here and like this, like there's a bunch of them. Are those growth points? I don't know. I really don't. I know absolutely nothing about this plant. I haven't done any research on it yet, but I will now that I'm like, I have a new leaf. I'm just like so invested and so excited about it. But I just want to get all this moss off. The growth pattern is so wild. Like I seriously have no freaking clue what I'm looking at here. So I really kind of want to get rid of these leaves because they're like quite ugly. But at the same time, I'm really not the type that just chops leaves off for cosmetic things. I kind of let the plant do whatever it wants, but these petioles are so long, it's really hard to like find a place to put this. I wouldn't even know how to chop this thing because I don't know what I'm looking at. You see what I mean? Like, look at this. What in the hecky am I looking at? It's all roots. I don't see any freaking rhizome or stem or anything. I actually see what looks like a bulb. It looks like a corm. But I also see some sort of like rhizome looking thing. Guys, I'm like 100% stumped. I don't know. So I don't want to chop anything because I don't know where to even chop, but I'm gonna remove this petiole here if I can, because that's done. I think another focus of this week is gonna be pest stuff because, whoa. Okay, that didn't go as planned. Dang it. Dang it, Sherman! So like I was saying, in the months or weeks really leading up to my California trip, I was extremely aggressive with my pest management stuff. I sprayed every single plant in this house. I did it off camera because it was a huge endeavor, but it was like my last ditch effort to kind of get things under control before I left for a long time, because if I left it in the state that it was in, my entire collection would have been overrun by at least spider mites. The good thing is that I've only been finding thrips really here and there, and they've usually been with isolated plants and not plants that are like on a shelf or something. I'm also finding some spider mites here and there. Like yesterday, I watered my entire plant shelf, or I watered my entire anthurium shelf, and the only plant I found spider mites on was this guy. So that's like a huge thing for me, to like go through every single plant and only find one plant with spider mites. So now that I'm feeling in a good place, I am not going to like risk getting lazy. So I want to be really proactive about my pest prevention stuff this year, because last year was all pests. It was like thrips, spider mites, mealybugs, fungus gnats, everything that you can think of under the sun, and I just don't want to deal with that level of a pest outbreak again. And I'm just hoping that this year, oh, that was satisfying. It smells like green like green beans. Yeah, like string beans. So anyway, I would just really like if I could be in a place where like I'm being, again, more proactive about the pest stuff. So this week is gonna be a lot of pest prevention stuff, which I would much rather do than pest treatment, because pest prevention is really just like washing down leaves, wiping down leaves, reapplying pest sprays, and yeah, that's something I can handle. So I won't do all the plants in this video, but we will definitely get started, because I want to say by the mid-February, I would like if all my plants have been at least routinely pest maintained. Okay, so now I'm gonna move this to pond, like I said. I'm gonna just opt for this little thing. Ideally, I would have liked to use a taller glass vessel, but I think I mentioned in this video how I truly have like no more like good glass vessels left. Everything has been occupied, or everything has been used. So I gotta find some. I think what I'm gonna do is inoculate this with Great White instead of TPS, and the reason for that, there's no rhyme or reason. I just have a bucket of my Great White already prepared, so just rather use that. And then I'm using, gosh, I can't even remember what I did in this video, but I'm using some pon from the Variegated Plant Shop. I like to call it party pon because it just looks like a party. It looks more lively and festive than the regular Latruza pon brand. Oh, fudge, I think it's too shallow. This is not what I wanted. I didn't want this flopping everywhere. Like if it was just this one leaf, it would be so effing cute, and a freaking fungus gnat just flew out of here. This is a little bit bigger than I would have liked, but it's gonna be okay. This is not, it's not ideal, but look how cute this leaf is. Everyone just focus on the cute little bunny. Yeah, there's just a very, very large part of me that wants to just chop all of these off, but they're alive, they're kicking, they are contributing to the health of the plant, so when it is their time to go, then they will go. But I'm just actually keeping this in my tent for now. Until I can do more research on it, I'm gonna just leave it in there for now since it's doing okay in there. But if in my research I realize that it's not a plant that necessarily needs a lot of heat or humidity, then I will take it out. But I think I might want to wait until I at least get some established roots on here. Oh, I've got a root sticking out. I might wait for, yeah, some acclimatized roots to form before I take it out. It's 10 p.m. about, and I haven't cooked dinner yet. So I'm just gonna tidy up the plant room really quick, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. I have a little bit more pep in my step today, thank goodness. And I have a pretty busy night, but I want to try and get through it as quickly as possible because, like I mentioned, today is my husband and I's 10-year anniversary, so I want to whip up some dinner and watch some TV. Right now we're watching Station 11, so that's pretty much our plan for the night. But my goal for tonight is to focus on these three shelves here in terms of getting them washed down and sprayed. So the first thing that I'm going to do is basically just bring them into the shower in little groups. I'm going to wash them down with some warmish to almost hot water, like a little bit hotter than warm but a little bit cooler than hot. Just give them one wash down, let them dry for a couple minutes, and then I'm just going to spray them with the Safer's Endol, I think that's what it's called. It's the yellow bottle. It's a miticide because really I'm trying to target spider mites right now because that was my problem all last year and the problem that I'm still having. I am still having problem with thrips, but not as much as spider mites. So I'm just gonna start hauling these all to the bathroom. The next couple minutes are just gonna be a time lapse of me washing down and spraying, and then I will get them back in maybe tomorrow to let them dry off. Another thing that I kind of wanted to do that I'm just teetering with the idea is separating out my philodendron pink princess, and I'll show you what it looks like right now. Here's what she looks like. She's kind of a hot mess. So if you guys remember, I acquired this philodendron pink princess from my friends over at Plants MCA. They sent a beautiful specimen that is very highly variegated. It is just beautiful. It's got this deep like cherry color, black color almost, and there are a couple plants in this one pot, and it's just going sort of out of control. As much as I love the variegation on some of these smaller ones, I don't need it. I really just want to keep this one plant and maybe one other one, and then I will give the rest away to neighbors. So this is something that I'm definitely twiddling with the idea of repotting tonight if I have it in me before this new leaf comes out. This is the newest one that just came out on it, and it's just freaking stunning. I have been having some issues with leaves melting, so you'll see right here, like a lot of that pink is melting, and I've got these weird sort of spots on this leaf, and I actually just ripped off a leaf that almost fully melted. It had a lot of pink on it, and it was just fully brown. So I ripped that off. It is under lower light now. It used to be under a 24 watt light, and now it's under a 10 watt light bar. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the pink sort of melting or if it's like a nutritional deficiency or something. My first priority really is separating it and maybe getting this big one onto a pole, even though I really don't like the idea of having a pink princess on a pole. But anyway, yeah, that is that. And also I'm doing sort of an updates video, a separate one, but since you guys are watching these weeks of, I'll give you a little sneak peek. But this is my Epipremnum pinnatum albo variegata, and this is another one that has started to melt under my 10-watt lights. And this one was in my grow tent, so it was just being blasted by lights like all around, and the variegation stuck and definitely lasted longer than this has. So this is really, really weird for this plant. So I really kind of think it's a light thing, since the nutrition since the fertilizing is the same as before. But yeah, it's getting larger, which is great. Like I actually have some pinnations now and some of these fenestrations, but I'm having issues with the melting. So not only do I need to figure out a pole for this, I think I'm just gonna get it on an extension, but I might need to move this into a brighter light situation because it's really not liking it in my Millsbow. I'm just waiting for everything to dry off before I do a insecticidal spray. So in the meantime, I am gonna try and tackle this guy because it has been in the nursery pot for so long, as displayed. This pot is really cute though. I also got this from Plant Some. The roots look really good, and unfortunately I do not have any more soil. Like, did I mention that in this video? Oh my gosh. I filmed 2 other videos this week, so I'm a little bit confused in what I've said in which videos, but I'm out of soil. And yeah, so this one's gonna be transferred to pond, which is fine because I've actually found that this one's pretty thirsty, and I wouldn't mind leaving it in pond so that I can have sort of a reserve down at the bottom of water all the time. When I have my plants in no drainage vessels with soil, I tend to not leave as much of a reserve in water, or I tend to not leave as much of a reserve in the vessel as I do with something like pond. I think I'm gonna start separating the plants. So there's one right here that I'm just gonna pluck off, and it's got its own little root system, which is great. It's this guy right here. And then I have a little baby one here. I do not enjoy that squeaking sound. This little guy, which is basically no variegation. And then this one, which is pretty low variegation as well. And then my main plant here. I'm really not liking how tall and weird and lanky this is. So I think you guys know it's coming. I'm gonna chop. The method I'm gonna do for this one is go from the bottom to the top, since it is such a bleeder. I'll leave the bottom in here to drip into this old soil. So you guys can see I've got these 4 leaves down here, and then I've got sort of this weird kind of, I don't know, it's not a small internode, but it's not a long internode. And then I've got these 3 leaves here and then sort of a long internode to chop. So my gut is to chop this into, I almost want to sacrifice these 2 low variegation leaves, pluck them off, and use it as a stem to get my my plant started on a pole, and then propagate this bottom one and see if it gives me some good variegation. So what I'm gonna do is chop as close as I can to this node right here without chopping into it. Did I tell you she was a bleeder? So I'm gonna leave this in here. This bottom one can basically just stay like this, and I do have probably about 3, actually I probably have about 5 auxiliary buds on this small one, so we'll see who wakes up. The last thing I freaking needed right now was another prop, but I have a hard time throwing away parts of plants that I know can be propagated, even if I don't really love the plant, like love it. I'm like, well, it's gonna turn into a plant, I shouldn't throw it away. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like a lot of us have that issue where we just keep propagating, keep propagating. We can't sell them, we can't find anyone who wants to take them, especially where I live. Like, it's just very, very saturated, and it's kind of more of a headache to like set up like a pickup and all this. I don't know, it's kind of a headache. So I don't know. If this one doesn't give me good variegation within like 2 or 3 leaves, then I think I'll throw it out. But this one really is gonna be my bread and butter for this plant. So some of you are not going to like this, but I'm gonna chop one more. Okay, look away if you are squeamish with chopping plants. So I'm gonna chop this bottom here because these leaves are actually quite pretty, and I don't want to just rip them off for the sake of having a longer stem. So I'm gonna chop right above the 3rd leaf. Oh, that one dripped a lot. Oh no. So I've got this guy here, and then I've got this top cutting. I have 1 leaf here that I removed, it melted. I'm also going to chop off this leaf, so look away, look away. And now I have this top cutting, and I have a really good size stem to work with to get some roots going on a lazy pull. So I'm gonna let this callus over because it's bleeding, and I'm gonna get it washed off, and then we'll see what's going on with the little ones. So right away, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna throw this one out because there's no variegation on it. I don't need a million pink princesses. So that one's going out. And then in terms of these 2, this one is really pretty. It has beautiful, beautiful variegation. This one sort of looks reverty-erty. I don't know. I'm not feeling really good about this one in terms of the variegation coming back or it being a plant that I'm gonna eventually love. So I think I'm going to see if my neighbor upstairs wants this. I don't think she has a pink princess yet. And then this one I think I'll just set out in my lobby for free and see if anyone wants to take it. And then I will keep this bottom cutting for educational purposes, and we'll see if anything comes back on that one. But I do have to get these 2 repotted and into somewhat decent pots so that it is presentable for its next owner. And I think I'm just gonna reuse this soil. I'm gonna opt for pots with drainage since they're going to neighbors. I don't want them to freak out when if they get it in a vessel with no drainage holes. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. Maybe I'll get like a chopstick in here so it's like leaning upward, standing upward. I always find putting pink princesses on a pole very awkward because they grow sort of 360 in a self-heading manner, and it just, yeah, throws me off. Like, it feels like a plant that should be able to like stand on its own, yet it doesn't. But yeah, it's just kind of awkward to put on a pole, especially when the nodes are so tight. Sometimes you do have to like sacrifice a leaf or two and just chop it off so that you can get it stabilized onto something, but I just kind of wish these plants didn't need one. So she is done, and you guys are gonna hear Sniffles McGee again in the background, aka my husband, who refuses to go to a doctor about his sinus issues. If there are any sinus doctors on this channel, please DM me. We need to talk. We need to talk about my husband's nasal passages. I'll pot the second one off camera because I think it's going to be time soon to go check on the plants. I'm trying to think what I want to pot this one in. I wanted to do pond, but can I talk? These are a lot of soil roots and they're very soil heavy, and I'm not really sure I want to deal with this conversion, to be fully honest with you. So I think I'm just gonna reuse the soil, but I need a bigger pot. I'm gonna do this cup since it's just a prop, and I'm gonna put it in my prop area. She's done. Into the prop bin we go. I'm telling you, she has 2 or 3 leaves at most to give me some pretty variegation, or else she's going straight in the trash. Okay, we're gonna go to the bathroom and spray the plants now. I think these are the last 2 plants I'm gonna repot today. I'm gonna let everything that's in the shower dry off overnight, and then first thing tomorrow I will start the second group of plants. But these 2 needed to be repotted like yesterday. So this one is my Homolomina humilis red velvet, and then this is my Ficus shiveriana. Acquired both of these, if I can remember. I acquired this before I went to California, and then I acquired this when I was in California. Alice picked it up for me, but they're both in the original nursery soil, and I can see it's become like hydrophobic. I don't know if you can see from this angle, but like the soil has completely detached from the pot. And so when you water it, it just goes over and it doesn't actually get absorbed in the soil. So I'm gonna do this one first and kind of show you what the root sitch is. It seems like such a huge pot for a teeny tiny little plant. But I will also be converting this one to pond. Let me give you a better angle. I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about this repot, but we've got to do it. Okay, so let me show you the top of this soil. Like, it's a freaking brick. I wonder if I can show you a demonstration. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of show you what it looks like when you water from the top. Do you see how it just rolls off the edges? There is some that's being seeped in, but just depending on at the rate you're watering, if you're doing a quick water, it's gonna roll off the sides of the pot. and only a little bit is actually being absorbed in the soil, and most of it is in here. Now, if this was in a no drainage vessel, if it did run off the bottom, it would then be wicked back up, but still it's not a great way to water your plants. So when I see that top layer has become really, really solid, that's how like I know that I've got to do something, because you can basically just peel it off like a solid layer like that. When you have soil that's become hydrophobic like that, what you can do is just peel away that top layer of soil and pack it with new soil, or you can also aerate it. You can do the chopstick method where you just like stick a bunch of holes in the pot and allow for water to enter the root ball that way. But I prefer either changing the soil completely or removing the top layer of soil, because although the aeration method does work for me, I just find that it's not as good as just obviously replacing the whole soil or just completely removing that top layer. The root ball isn't huge, but it's actually kind of good because I don't want it to be too established right now since I'm moving it to pond. But I am gonna try and get this as clean as possible. And I'm gonna give this a little rinse under the sink just to remove any pests that are probably inevitably in here, which I kind of believe there might be. This leaf doesn't look great. This one kind of looks like it was attacked by spider mites, by like how underdeveloped it is. But you know, I'm actually just surprised it's alive still. I really thought this thing was gonna die within days of getting it, but she's been okay. And we're just gonna keep trucking along. I would really love to grow this outside the greenhouse. This is definitely not one that I plan to keep inside of there for very long. It's just sort of being isolated right now since it came from a notoriously pesty nursery. So here is the watering with the top layer. Oh, can't see it, it's just kind of rolling off this edge here. But if we remove this top layer of soil, this one wasn't as bad as the other one. Oh my God, it's falling in. So once you unpack that first layer and then water, it's being absorbed way more in the center of that root ball. And now I just made mud water, so that's good. Perfect, let's just put it in here. Just put it in here. I have a couple plants in here actually. I think there's about 3 in this one. Oh, maybe that's something that I can do today. I kind of wanted to build like an underwater sort of situation with this one, since this one can live as an aquatic plant. But I don't necessarily want to put it in my beta's tank because Ella said that it discolored her water quite a bit, and I feel like I sort of just got like my pH right in there. So I don't want to mess with things, but I did have an idea with a tall vessel that I wanted to test out, but I'm going to separate this a little bit because it's quite bushy. So I've got a bigger plant here and then this smaller guy. Oh, there's actually more in here. This little guy, this little guy. I think this one I will test out underwater and not my main plant, but I want to remove some of these really crispy leaves. Let's pot the ficus first, since this one's going to be less complicated than the homalomina. The homalomina I am nervous about. I've never attempted this potting situation before, but this year is about expanding my horizons, and we're going to start with that one. So this root system is pretty small. I'm almost thinking this is a better fit for it, but I also feel like it's probably going to outgrow this really fast. Maybe. This one seems a little bit large for the root system, especially something like pond. It's going to be very heavy. At the same time, it'll be able to live in here longer. My gut is just saying go smaller, so let's just do this one. This thing is just infested with freaking gnats. What in the heck? Come here. Come here. Dang it. Come back here, you little shit. Thrips are annoying. Thrips, spider mites, all of those, they're annoying, but somehow fungus gnats are still the most fucking annoying pest to me. I can't stand them. I think it's because they like fly around your fucking face, like all of this space, and you want, I'm gonna be inoculating with TPS billions. Sometimes plants just need new plants. I'm telling ya. If you have a plant that you are getting like meh, like you're bored of it and it doesn't bring you as much joy as before, but you're not quite at that point where you're like, I want to get rid of you, new plants. Get new plants on it. I promise you, it's the one thing that like reinvigorates my love for a plant that maybe was just kind of blah before. Either change its plants or change its location, like move it completely to somewhere new, not just somewhere new on the shelf, like move it to a fucking, the other side of your house, like, and you're gonna be like, wow, I do love you a lot. So it's kind of just like a room. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but when my like space is the same for too long, I get really bored. I feel really like stale and just like meh in the space, and there's no like good energy flowing around me. But the second I just like move one shelf or like just move something, I'm like, it's a brand new space. I have a new house. So anyway, new pants on this guy, loving it. Well, I'm loving it. I don't know if she's gonna love it yet, but I guess only time will tell. This Homolomina, oh, not this one. This Homolomina I am going to attempt to grow in this vase. I would love to do this one because it's bigger, but at the same time, I don't want to risk the experiment on my main plant. So we're gonna do this one. And the substrate of choice that I'm gonna use is Fluval stratum. I've had people asking me to do videos with this and experiment with it. And the reason that I haven't done it is because I've already done it and I did it off camera, and whatever, I'm just gonna leave that off. It's not my substrate of choice. It's way too expensive. I feel like it does the same exact thing as like perlite or pon or leca or soil, and there's not anything that I'm like, oh, I have to buy a bag of this and I have to use it. Really the only thing that I would use this for is aquatic plants, and it's purely based on the price. I have lots of friends who are using stratum. They swear by it, they love it. They say it's amazing for propagation, amazing for corms, amazing for rehabs. But it's just not a stratum that it's just not a substrate that I'm drawn to. This bag cost me, I think it cost me $40 or $45. It was not cheap, and so just for that reason alone, I'm not going to use it. But in this case, because I am going to try and grow this Homolomina aquatically, I am going to use stratum. One thing I don't like about this is that it's very dusty. I talked about this in my, I think it was like popular plant opinions in the plant community or something. I talked about stratum in another video, but I was talking about how it, okay. If you've never used stratum before, a lot of people think these are like black rocks, but it's literally just like compressed volcanic soil, so you can just turn it into dust. So it is very delicate. I have used this in my tanks before when I had baby shrimp. The dust kicks up everywhere. It's very, very messy. Your whole tank will become black if you don't pour that water in very carefully. I usually do like foil down at the bottom and then I pour over it so that it's not actually like kicking up any dust. Some people wash this, but I've read that you're not supposed to wash it. And I have washed it before. When I first used this, I was like, oh, it's so dusty, it's so gross, I don't want my tank to be black. So I washed it and I washed it and I washed it and I washed it, and it was just black, black, black. Wait, I have a thing in here. Oh, maybe I'll use this. Okay. Let's try and be like not chaotic as usual. So you guys can you guys see the black dust on the side? It just gets really messy. And then I'm gonna place my plant in here. So the thing when you use it in an aquarium is you put it in, that's what she said, and then the water will be some sort of color of gray, but you cycle your tank for a few days and you know the filter catches all the grit and stuff, and then eventually after a few days the water is clear. I don't have that. So if this is just completely black, we're gonna have to think of something else. I'm gonna try the method of pouring it down the side so that it's not violently hitting this stratum. That's not too bad. But the leaves are dirty as hell. The way that my arm is on absolute fire. Okay, I want to clean off these leaves a little bit. That is not half bad. It's pretty dang clean. She's so cute. You know who I kind of want to add if it'll if it'll stay? Ow. Whoa. I love it. Look it's a shipwrecked disco ball and it's moving around and it's living with my Homalomina. And Pudge, you really need to stop barking. There's nothing happening except for a disco party in my new plant. This is so freaking cool. Now, only if we can keep this alive. That's the true question. But she's done. Look how cute she is. I could just slam my face into a wall. It's so adorable. Last, but certainly not least, this Homalomina, which I think can... This seems too big too. That's what he said. It is a hot mess here. Okay, last one, and then I think I'm gonna go take my husband to dinner. I am craving Vietnamese food. I want a bowl of pho, and I don't want to order that to go because it's not going to be as good. So last one, then dinner time. 10 years is a long time to be with someone. Fun fact, my husband and I had never really been in a relationship for longer than a year before we were together. So we like joke all the time. Like when we hit our 1 year anniversary, we're like, oh, this is a fluke. Like it's just a matter of time now, we're gonna break up. And then 2 years came, and then 3 years. I think when we hit our 5 years, we were like, should we break up? Like, have we been together for too long? Like, this is not like us. And now here we are, 10 years later. It is crazy. And Lisa, I'm talking to you, Miss Lisa. She asked me why I don't wear my ring, and that's just because jewelry bothers me. This on my neck, where is it? Oh, right here. This is the bare minimum, and it already drives me crazy. Look, it's all tangled, and like the chain is always, the clasp thing is always in the front, and I look like a hot mess. But I'm just not really a huge jewelry person. I can't wear jewelry. And also, I almost lost my wedding ring the first year that I had it. And ever since then, I was like, nope, she's getting tucked away. Don't need to wear her. And really, I just don't really, personally, is a personal opinion, I don't really see the purpose in wearing the wedding ring all the time. It's like, I know I'm married. He knows we're married. Like, I don't need to like wear it out so that everybody knows that I'm married and let all the boys know that I'm taken. You know, no, your girl, she doesn't get hit on anymore. So, you know, I'm safe, I'm good. I don't need to wear the ring. I wear it on special occasions. Like I wore it when we went to dinner the other night, and I wear it to weddings and just, you know, events and stuff. But every day, I can't stand it. I can't stand the feeling of it being on my hand. So that is why. I'm so happy that she's repotted this poor thing. Oh, I still have one more. Oh my word. Okay, I have this little one, and I do love this plant very much, and I think I want to try to give this one to my mom. So we do have to take care of her, but I need the tiniest little pot. I've chosen the little parfait cup. Hopefully I can keep this one alive for mom, because I know that she would love it. This is actually so big, like it's drowning. I'm gonna put it a little bit higher so the pond isn't so heavy on these little baby roots. And I will inoculate it as well. Give her a fighting chance at life. Done. And then as for these ones, I'm literally just going to water root it and call it a day. I'm not going to do anything fancy, but I do need something slightly heavy to hold it up. I don't have anything heavy, so we're using this. Done. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Okay, so I need to clean up here, but tomorrow we are going to continue with the pest management. I'm going to try and finish group 2 from these top 2 shelves, and then also get this bottom shelf down here, and then I think I want to also work my way into this XO. And I also have a bunch of vessels that I washed on Saturday that I need, Saturday or Sunday? Saturday that I washed that I need to put away, so we'll do that too. But really tomorrow is gonna be more of the same thing, pest stuff, maybe more repots if there's something in here that I need to repot, which I don't really think I do, but I definitely need to like re-wet my pole and do some maintenance stuff. But yeah, busy day tomorrow, and then I think Thursday will be the last day because I'm gonna attempt to get this up Saturday. So big endeavor, but we can do it. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow. I'm just waiting for the plants to dry in the shower. Did I turn off my camera? Sure. In the meantime, I have spotted 2 plants on this shelf that I feel like needs help. I already repotted one of them, as you would have seen if you were paying attention. And that is my Begonia Sinbad. So it's a very happy plant, and it's been really happy up until this point. I have noticed though that this little branch right here is always a little bit sad. It's a little bit too droopy, so it's kind of suspicious to me. Even this one hangs a little bit lower than it should for like how small it is. So I went to inspect, and sure enough, the stem has actually rotted halfway through. It doesn't feel like it's rotted anymore, but part of me feels like that's one of the main reasons why this thing is so sad. So I'm gonna chop it and repropagate it. I have no reservations or hesitation cutting a Begonia Sinbad, because seriously, if you want a begonia that grows like a weed, this is your guy. So you can see right here, better look, it's rotted halfway. So I think I'm gonna cut off all of that and separate these 2 out and chop it there. It has a lot of exposed tissue because of how thick the stem is, so I am gonna use my callousing hormone. And I'm going to just leave this for maybe 20 minutes to callus over, and then I'm gonna get it into water. If it was like a pothos cutting, or I don't know, if it was anything but a begonia, I would just stick it back in this pond and propagate it that way. But in my experience, I just find that begonias propagate the best in water. They tend to be kind of dramatic when you chop them if you don't get them into some kind of hydration right away. So I'm gonna just water propagate those, and then once they root, I will stick it back in here. Another one is my, come on, you got it, philodendron. Philodendron, Hederaceum var. Oxycardium variegated. Gosh. So this one I repotted not too long ago on camera, and I put it on this trellis, but I'm not feeling it. I know that it hasn't like filled in yet, but the leaves are like perpetually sort of like droopy and just kind of thin and like sad looking. So I'm gonna get it out of here and just kind of see what the tea is with this and what's going on under the substrate. I actually think that this pot or this vessel might be too big for it, so I just want to kind of inspect. Now I do see some rotted roots, so I'm not going to pour it into here right away. I want to make sure to disinfect it first, or disinfect it, to sterilize it before I get it back into my pond. Some people ask, like, I know that like a big headache with reusing pond is that when you have a plant like this with rotted roots, especially roots that are very fine like alocasias or begonias, getting those like dead roots out of the pond, it's so annoying. It gets stuck everywhere. They're like almost impossible to get rid of. But here's my little secret. When I boil it, a lot of it will lift, or a lot of it will rise to the surface, and I just take a strainer and I just kind of strain all, like as much as I can out. But whatever I can't get out, I just leave it and it goes back in the pond. It looks gross, but it really doesn't do anything to the plant once it's been sterilized. So if anyone else has like a way that works perfectly for them, I would love for you to share, but otherwise that's my method and it works. So these roots, okay, yeah, this one's rotted, but these roots are, no, those are rotted too. Fortunately, there's no root breakage in here that I can see. Oh, maybe just a little bit, but it's pretty clean. So I will sterilize that and get it back into my vessel, but I don't like these roots at all. It looks yucky and gunky and gross, and there are more bad ones than good ones. So what I'm gonna do Some of you are not gonna like it, but this is just how we operate in this house. She's got to go. Oliver's got to go. And I'm gonna clean up this stem a little bit because there's a lot of like aerial roots that were in a moss pole and they're just bugging me. Not surprised that there was root rot because I know what this plant looks like when it is really happy and healthy and hydrated, and this is not it. It's lacking color. It looks so dull. The leaves are just, they're paper thin, like almost translucent. So I know that this plant has not been getting water for a while, but it's still pushing out growth. I mean, she's a trooper, so we're gonna take care of her, give her some love. And I'm kind of debating now whether I do want to keep this trellising and have it go around, or if I just want to make a trailing basket, because I'm redoing my whole setup in my living room and I'm gonna have way more shelf space, and so it would kind of be nice to have a trailing basket of this rather than a climbing one. I have way more room for trailing plants than climbing plants. So we might have to abort mission with the trellis. So I'm going to cut it down at the bottom and propagate this single leaf down here. And I'm also going, I don't really like propagating these like really thin single nodes. They're just kind of a pain in the butt. So I think I'll just leave it like this. And yeah, repropagate it. So I'll get this into water. So I think that I'm going to head back into the bathroom and do my first spray.
Leave your message for...
This number calls me all the time on my US phone, answers, and I'm like, hi, I got a missed call, and then I hear click, 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 and then they hang up. I want to be the one to hang up on them this time. It's infuriating. Now I'm just gonna blow them up and annoy them. Yeah, you want to call me? Sure, call you.
Please leave your message for...
You know what? It's really rude when you call me and then you and I miss call and then you just up on me. You're a piece of you know that? Go yourself. Yes, I'm going to therapy for my rage. I'm calm. It's just infuriating because it's the same number that calls me all the time on that phone, and whenever I answer, they just hang up. And don't ask me why I haven't blocked it yet. I'm that petty. I wanna speak to someone. So I need to tend to my propagations. I was gonna make this a whole video, but fuck it. We're gonna do it now. Well, a part of me wants to get rid of this humongous prop box and put these all in my smaller ones and see what I can sort of consolidate. Sorry, it's really dark. But let me just kind of show you what I've got in here. So I'm pretty sure I did this on camera. I propagated my Xerosistio stangui in the 2-cup method, or the dome method, and it rooted so much faster than it would have in just straight water or any other substrate. I have not yet given up on this Decaria madagariensis. I've heard that it's nearly impossible to root any way, but it's alive and it's firm and it's healthy, which is weird, but still not a single freaking root. So yeah, this is Forgetii prop. I think that's the one from Amanda. And then I've got this, oh, I hope this wasn't important because now it's mush. This one is something, but it's feeling, Oh, no, it's not soft. Okay, I don't know what that is. I really should label things. Okay, so for sure I have some Gloriosum in here. I want to say this is all Verde, like the regular Verde form, but there is this little guy that I believe is a white veins. Oh my gosh, look at this. Poor little sad leaf. So we've got Gloriosum, more Gloriosum, which I don't need. I think I can give this away to somebody, and I think I'll keep this one because this one's actually kind of cute and pillowy. And I don't have any big Verdes anymore, regular Gloriosum Verdes. I just chopped them all up because they were pissing me off. They all had spider mites. Let's see, mystery chunks. This one is still alive. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. I would not even doubt if like a majority of these chunks were Gloriosums. Like we've got so many chunks. I know that this, actually I don't know what this is. I think this is a Philodendron SP Columbia, and it's pushing out the tiniest little growth point up at the top, so that's good. Whatever this was, it's now hollow and soft. Same with this one. Rotted. Just happens, you know. So I do have some Scindapsus cuttings in here. Ew, okay, that's gross. These are Scindapsus trubii. Wait, what? Scindapsus what? Scindapsus trubii. Oh. Oh gosh. These are Reset. Monstera stanleyana albovariegatas. I think that's what they are. I've got some growth on some of these little guys, which is good. Some of them are rotting, which means I did not let it callus over enough before I put it in the prop bin. Kind of sounds like something I would do. There's like a lot of them. This is from my sister's mother plant that almost went into the afterlife. I think this is an El Choco Red. When the hell did I propagate an El Choco Red? And especially a chunk this big. What? I'm very confused. I'm pretty sure this is an El Choco. It looks like one. A mystery. Okay. And then I've got yet another freaking Soderoy or Soderini. I think this one was a Soderoy actually. This one came from my variegated Soderoy. I might move all these sticks into a perlite prop box, and then, or I could do all of it in a perlite prop box. I freaking hate moss now. I think this one is, yeah. That does not smell good. Now just to dig for anything I may have missed. This guy's dead. And this is how I get random plants growing from my moss bins, because like I'll put this back into my moss bin but forget about some sticks or whatever that was hiding, and then it just like propagates itself in there. Now for these props, oh my gosh, this one's popping off. Okay, this is a very exciting corm. This is an Alocasia heterophylla dragon's breath from Amanda. I didn't even know she had that plant. I don't think I knew she had that plant. And she sent one to me and Alice. I'm really excited about that. This is another mystery chunk from Amanda, which still don't know what it is. And this one as well, which is a little bit dicey, but still alive. And then I have, what are you? I have Mandula. It's kind of weird. This one is just like doesn't want to open. And then I've got this guy that I think I'm going to try and start over on a pole. I'm just starting over from the very beginning. And then this is what's left of my Alocasia Maharani. I threw away my mother plant because she was pissing me off. And then this is, I think this is a, the lady who cleans the building is here. She's right outside my door. Anyway, this is an Alocasia Frydek. I actually have another Frydek corm in my substrate that's like buried under the pond, and I'm so tempted to save it, but at the same time I just repotted that Frydek, so I don't really want to mess with it. I'm gonna have to weigh my, I'm gonna have to take a gamble here, but this one I need to sell or get rid of. This is or some kind of, I think it's called like a dragon tail succulent or something. I really love it. I have 2 of them already, so I don't need it. And then this is another mystery prop from Amanda from the last time she sent us a package, and I have been dying to know what this is, but it's just taking so long to come out. It's some kind of philodendron, just can't pinpoint which one it would be from her collection. Those are pretty much all of my propagations right now. It's not too bad. I usually have way more than this, but I've really tried to cut down how much I'm propagating because of how much time I have. So let's figure out who we want to keep. I definitely am going to keep this Frydek corm. I'm going to keep this, I think. I don't know if my mom has an El Choco red, but if she doesn't, then she can have that one. And then I'll keep this little pillowy angel. I will get rid of this one. I'll keep this gloriosum, and oh my gosh, do I even want to bother with another variegated soderoy? Not really. Maybe someone else might want to though. I don't know. I don't need both of these mandulas, so I might just chuck this one, get rid of it, and then I'll keep this. Obviously keeping the ones from Amanda. I'll keep all of these chunks just because I'm not 100% sure what they are. Like, I know that one of them has to be my round form gloriosum or the gloriosum zebra, whatever it is, and then the what is it, SP Columbia, and then yeah, I think that's manageable. I'm just gonna go get my smaller greenhouse now. My word. I feel bad for my downstairs neighbors. Like, truly. The question is, do I want to use moss or do I want to use perlite? Perlite's going to dry out faster, but moss is annoying on the other hand. I could do leca. There's a thought. Although it will probably dry out just as fast as perlite. What would Jesus do? A part of me kind of just wants to do leca. It's cleaner, it's easier, it's less annoying. I just have to keep adding water. It's gonna be heavier though. You know what? Let's just stick with the moss. It's already prepared. It's messy here now. I don't know how this happened. I could pot this now. I'm gonna chop it. Why is this rhizome so long? Of course, I'm gonna make another plant now. Perfect. Just what I needed. Why am I losing everything? Where's my callousing hormone? Or my rooting hormone? Oh, my callousing hormone. Okay. I'm gonna chop it right here because I do not need the longest rhizome for the tiniest plant. So this one, I think I'll just pot up right away. This one needs help. You know what I'm gonna do? This one needs hydration, so I'm gonna chop it maybe like this. I will, where is it? I'll callus this one, and then I'm gonna get this whole thing into water, and I'm just gonna let it have a little spa. I'm gonna let that soak for maybe an hour or 2 or 3. I'm gonna put the Amanda ones in its own little cup so that I remember that they're extra special and to pay attention to them, or else they're just gonna get lost in the rubble. I feel my stomach churning. I think we're gonna have to go on an ad break so that I can take a lunch and I don't faint. And then when we come back, I'm just going to start taking plants out of the bathroom and get them back onto the shelf, and then I will do another group of plants to anti-pest, depest, pest prevent. And then I think after that, we're pretty much done. I just need to, again, tidy up my plant room and put away all my vessels. And then that will be it for today because I have a lot of work to do and I really can't be doing a ton of plant stuff today. So yeah, thank you for watching my ads. zonked, I'm so tired, I'm sweaty, I want to take a shower, so I'm gonna call it for today. I have done this entire shelf in terms of pest prevention. The only one that I didn't show was this big Florida green, which has never had any pests, fingers crossed. I did treat that one maybe 3 weeks ago. I did the full shower and then the spray, and it's kind of a biatch to take off of this shelf, so I'm just gonna leave it. Tomorrow though, we're gonna continue with the pest prevention. I'm gonna move into this exo, and if I have time, maybe the open exo next to it. But whatever I don't finish on camera, I'm gonna just continue through the weekend because I would like to get this plant room done before next week. But yeah, sorry that we've been in the plant room this entire week. I'm sorry that it's been pretty much all of the same thing. It's really just pest prevention, repotting, and handling things that have been kind of screaming at me, like my box of laziness, which is now full again. I don't have it in me to tackle it in this video, but I am gonna have to wash it because it's literally just sitting out in my hallway. This hobby is like a never-ending cycle. We just go around and around and around and do the same thing and the same thing, but it's magical. Anyway, I am gonna go for today, but I'll see you tomorrow. My manicure is literally on its last leg, so that is how I know I've had an eventful week. But I didn't sleep well last night, so I need to try and wake up a little bit before I jump into things. I figured maybe I'd give you guys a sneak peek at some of the plants going on, or what's going on in these two exos next to me. Just in terms of like new leaves or like updates on things. I will be doing a February favorites video and maybe like a new leaf video sometime soon, so you'll see these again, but I know not everybody sits through these like 2-3 hour videos, so you guys get a little treat. The first one that I have is my Soderini, which kind of had a little regression after I chopped it and put it on a new pole. The new leaf is quite teeny tiny, but it's okay because we've got lots of new roots forming, which is great. I was hoping to get some roots in this pole, but I'm not really seeing any just yet. Actually, no, I do see some, but they look dry as heck. Dang it. Let's tuck this guy in. Don't break. Okay, but since I repotted it, I do have some new roots. You can see all the little pink fuzzy roots, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted. If I can remember, the root system wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't amazing, and I was just saying how I do have a lot of insurance here. If I can get these to root, I'll be fine, but it's great to know that good things are happening in the substrate. But overall, doing okay, and I'm just hoping to see some size on this again. I don't like moving that plant around a lot because it's in it's in a pond pole, and it just like spills everywhere. The next one I want to show you is a plant I've never shown before on this channel, and this leaf got warped. Crapola. Alice was such a little angel cutie pie, and she cut me a piece of her Windlingeri. Luckily mine is rooted now. There's a new leaf coming, and I'm hoping that one day I can chop mine for her because I think ours are like 2 different forms. And I would love to give her a piece of this one because that one is actually from Amanda. That light is way too bright. Okay, we're just gonna turn it off. It's violent. So yeah, it's doing okay. It's in tree fern fiber, very dry, needs to be watered. But we have a new leaf, which is very exciting. If you guys saw the tortilla slapping 3 video on Alice's page, you would have seen this begonia that we got from Amanda. This is our second try. We completely fudged the first time around, so I'm hoping to have a little bit more luck this time, but I am noticing some melting on the leaves. But this one's also on its last leg, but this one is a new leaf right here that emerged in my care, and it's so cute. I'm gonna throw in a photo of a mature, oh sorry, this is a Begonia lubersii. I'm gonna throw in a photo of a mature one because it looks completely different. It loses the coloration. It just becomes a totally different begonia, and it's absolutely stunning. She did give it to us with roots, but it is starting to root a little bit more, which is good. I'm hoping that I can just grow this a little bit more, maybe like 6 or 7 more leaves so that I can chop it, because I don't really want to start over from this stem. I was going to chop it right here and then give Alice the top cutting and then just try and see what I could do down here, but I think it's a little too risky, and I know that she's not in a rush to get this plant. So I'm just gonna grow it out a little bit more, and I am gonna try and root it for her and get things started. But I'm just like so thrilled to have this plant because this leaf shape is beautiful. There are a lot of begonias with this sort of, what is this? How many sides are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. This reminds me of my blog. What kind of shape is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hexagon. It's a, oh, there's 3 sides. No, there's 4. What? 1, 2, oh my word, there's 3 sides. As you can see, my intelligence is really just shining through right now. But yeah, the shape of this is beautiful, and there are begonias with this leaf shape, but most of them, or the ones that I've seen, are like very spotty and bright and like wow and neon, and that's not really my kind of begonia. So I'm so happy to have this one, and I'm just saying a prayer that I can keep it alive. Another highlight, and if you watched my repot video that went up on Wednesday, you'll know that I repotted this Florida Beauty, and I was absolutely not expecting any kind of result or like action or development since I repotted this, but it's literally been like 7 days or something. I noticed that this root, or these roots, started to rot, which I'm not worried about right now, but there's like so many new roots coming in on it. Wait, where are they? Right here. It's insane. It's going crazy. So what I'm gonna do about these 2 roots is just keep an eye on it. I don't think that these roots rotting are enough to make the whole substrate go bad, but if it does, then I am gonna have to unpot it out of here and clean it up, which I don't really wanna do because I don't wanna disturb it. It's already got, you know, it's gotten like settled and seems to be doing well, but I'm just so happy to see that it's, you know, taken to life in pond because it was in water for a long time. I'm not quite sure what happened with these 2 roots. I just find that it's really a hit or miss when you, you know, transfer something from its propagation substrate to its permanent substrate, and that's just kind of the name of the game. I've never really had like a method where I'm like, this is 100% going to guarantee a successful transfer. You know, we're in a hobby where we're dealing with live things, and it's really just sort of, I almost threw that in my coffee. It's sort of just a toss-up of like what you're gonna get, but this is good news for me. Obviously, I don't like to see rotted roots, but at the same time, I just think that there's more good happening in here than bad, and it happened so freaking quickly. And this is the new leaf that came out on it. I thought it was gonna be green. It looked green when it was coming out, but there is variegation on it, and it's pretty small, but I'm thinking once it gets established in this vessel and on this pole, it's gonna size up again just fine. I think the last thing I want to show you in this exo is Mama Frydek, and she's getting big, you guys. The last time I would have shown her, like really featured her, I think the leaves were like around this size, but like the newer leaves are pretty ginormous, and it's really impressive. I think this is the most beautiful leaf that has ever come out on this plant. It's a half moon. It's got that beautiful marbled variegation on one side where it looks like you're like looking at Earth from space, and then just a completely white left side. So stunned by that leaf. This is the newest one, and I'm so happy to see more green because I was getting a little worried. When this leaf came out, I was like, okay, that's a lot of white. And then when this one came out, I was like, okay, there's a little bit more green, but still a little bit too much white for my liking. We've got our balance here. We've got a green leaf, and I'm pretty sure the next one that's gonna come out is gonna be more white than green. But there is a freaking corm in here. Look at him. I don't know if I should rescue it. He's stuffed. And I'm pretty sure there's more. I have a feeling that there's at least one more corm in here that is trapped under this substrate, but I don't really want to mess with it again because I transferred this not too long ago, and I don't know. I'm just not feeling great about moving it again because when I repotted it the first time, it really threw a fit. It lost maybe 3 or 4 leaves. The newest leaf that came after the repot was like this mangled looking hand thing, and yeah, it did not appreciate that. So I'm gonna leave it alone for now, but I feel like that corm is definitely screaming out to me. So the rest of them aren't as significant. If you want to see more of the Amanda plants that we got, you can watch Alice's video, which I will link in the description. So now moving into this exo, Jose Bueno is doing fantastic. There's a new leaf coming out on it, and it looks like it's gonna have a good amount of white. And it's really pretty. It's a bit smaller than the leaves that came before it, but I have sort of been neglecting this one a bit. Gosh, I can't even fit it in the frame. But I do think that I'm gonna give this back to Nick soon. I feel like I have sort of seen it get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is a beautiful specimen, and yeah, I think it's time to go back home. I could use the space. I am importing some plants from Tropicals Plants, and I'm probably gonna buy something from Lauren at the show. So I want to have some space to kind of acclimatize those to the house, and this one is taking up a lot of real estate. So yeah, I am gonna miss it, but it's got to go back home. And quick poll update, lots and lots and lots of roots. It just loves this pole so much. I do think that a significant part of this plant just doing so well in the last few months has just been getting it on a pole, because I'm really not doing anything super special. I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna miss this big guy for sure. Philodendron tenue, kind of the same as when I showed it to you guys last time. This is the newest leaf to come out on it, and I think we are just really seeing some significant size difference from where we were before. I do think I'm gonna repot it. It's not a super rooty plant. I would think that for as long as it's been in this vessel that this would be overtaken by roots, but that has not been the case. It definitely pushes out more foliage than it does roots, which I don't mind because that means it can live in like a smaller vessel for a longer period of time. I've also noticed that on some of the larger specimens that I've seen on Instagram, for as large as it is, the vessels are quite small. Like it doesn't seem quite balanced, but now having owned it and, you know, observing it doing well, I have noticed that it's not a super rooty plant. I am tempted to transition this to pond, but I still do want to have some of my collection in soil. I really like the growth in soil. I like working with soil. So I'm gonna wait until I can grab a bag of soil, and we're just gonna move it to like a fresher soil mix, because I don't wanna risk anything trying to do a transfer right now, because my goal is to just size this one up, and she's making good progress, and I don't think I need to hinder it anymore by transferring it to pond when it's already doing pretty well in soil. I feel like it's kind of been a while since I've shown you my Syngonium chiapense. Nothing really to report on this one. It's just been doing the same. I did remove a good amount of leaves when I transferred it into here, and yeah, it's taken to the transition well. I think that I was rooting this in moss. I can't remember. I did it on my channel. You're gonna have to find it, but safe to say it has successfully transitioned to pond, doing fine. This is one of those plants where I'm not really sure what to do with it. The growth pattern is a little strange once it gets going. It's really small right now because I chopped it down a bunch when I went to California. I gave my aunts some cuttings of this. It tends to get kind of petiole long, like the internodes are short, but then the petioles are super long, and they don't really fill in nicely, like cascading or sort of falling to the front the way that I like it. It does this weird sort of like wherever it wants to grow thing. And I don't really know how to display this because I don't need to have this in a greenhouse. It's already living in basically ambient conditions in here. But when I put it on my shelf, it's just like strange. It literally just, all you see is this. So I don't know, but I just enjoy having it because I really, really like these leaves. I just kind of wish it had a nicer growth pattern and sort of faced forward, but what are you gonna do? So this is my very, very thirsty Philodendron D. McDowell. I actually got this one from Alice not too long ago, and this is the newest leaf to come out on it, and it's so freaking pillowy and cute and delightful and delicious. There is another leaf coming, and I do need to like figure out this potting situation because it's just in basically perlite and it's very rooty and it's definitely ready to be transferred, but look how cute she is. I'm so happy to have a Dean again. And the last one that I'm going to show you in here, this is, I bought this from Equigenera as a Philodendron Serpens chocolate. I don't see any difference between chocolate and regular Serpens, honestly. Maybe unpopular opinion, but I think it's a money grab. This one definitely has spider mites. I can see the spider mites crawling on here, these motherfuckers. I have a lot of issues with EFN on this plant. It's a super, super EFN heavy plant. I don't know if you can tell how sticky it looks in the back, but this is a sticky freaking plant. It burns through the leaves so badly, and I don't know how to get it under control. This is the newest leaf that came out. It's a good size, but again, the EFN has just taken over. It's making the whole leaf go yellow, and overall, it's just not been a very enjoyable plant to grow. I'm not quite sure how I can prevent the EFN. I'm not really sure why it's pushing out so much EFN, but I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that it's not growing in a greenhouse. But a few people had told me to grow the Serpens outside of a greenhouse because it did a lot better and that it preferred, you know, actually cooler temperatures and lower humidity. But I don't know, when this thing was growing in my tent, I didn't have nearly as much EFN as this has now. But I know it has spider mites, and maybe that's why it's pushing out so much EFN, because it's stressed out. But we're gonna get that sorted today. I don't want this to touch my fry deck. But I think that is it for everyone I want to show you today. Now what I need to do is just start hauling things to the bathroom again and get it sprayed down. While I'm waiting for the plants to dry, I think what I want to do is move one of these 10-watt Barina lights, Barina lights out of here and switch it for a Monios 24-watt light, because I think that my leaves like these guys are browning because there's not enough light. And that's it, period. I need to get this obliqua onto a pole and like repotted. It's needed something severely, but the new leaf is pretty cute. She's all crinkly and majestic. This one also needs my help. She's reverting in size severely because the pole stitch is not great. The internodes got really freaking long all of a sudden. Like it was really tight, and then I've had like the longest internodes ever. So that took me by surprise, and I literally just spilled soil all over myself. So that's good. Curse of the Milano. God. Why? What did I do to you? This thing hates me already. And of course, the newest leaf on it too is dead. You know what? I just think I'm not meant to have Milano. That's just plain and simple. Let's just call it what it is. Variegated soderoy is growing like a damn weed. My sister doesn't stop texting me, we're gonna have some problems. But look how cute this is growing. I feel like I should put on a plank or something. I'm not really into the shingling Scindapsus, but this one's really cute. Oh, it doesn't look that cute when it's all backlit like that. Hudge, it's just the fire alarm, babe. They're doing fire alarm testing and he's getting shooketh. Look how cute it is. Okay, I'll give you some hugs. I'll give you some hugs. I know, very, very, very scary. Come here, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Remember I told you it's just the fire alarm? Just the fire alarm. Nothing bad is ever gonna get you here. I just wiped your eyes like a second ago and you already have eye boogies. It's okay. You're okay. You're so funny. You're the bravest, bravest pug I know. You're not even scared of fireworks. I bet you he's not gonna want to get off my lap. Watch. You're just a baby. You're just a baby. Okay, time for you to go down. He does not want to go. I wish you could see his arms. He's like, it's okay. It's time to be brave. It's time to be brave now. I know. It's time to be brave now. Oh no. The fire alarm's not gonna get you, babe. It's just really loud and scary. Why is it that when I want to stick it on a surface, it doesn't stay, it falls, but when I want to remove it, it's like, no, I'm the strongest tape ever. Like all of a sudden you want to do your job. I'm scared. Ugh. I need to test to make sure that this will actually work with these boards, because sometimes it doesn't. Eureka. Okay, so now I need the tape, and I bet you it's not gonna freaking stay. We're gonna try. I'm down to my last 3. I really need to start using magnet tape so I can just easily take these off and like move them around as I need to. Ah, that's hot. Freaking. You see, this is why. This is the Pudge. He's like inside my shirt. Pudge, out please. Pudgy, out please. Can you go out please? Thank you. I'm gonna do a very temporary solution. I'm gonna order some stronger like magnet tape things. But in the meantime, I'm gonna use electrical tape and just tape it. Because I don't have time for this bull crap today. All right, pals. Well, we are gonna get out of here. Pudge has had an eventful day. I didn't realize they were changing out the fire alarms in every unit, and every time it gets unplugged on our floor, which is a lot of times, it just rings the alarm throughout the whole apartment. So Pudge has just been on edge for hours, and I feel so bad. I've already taken him out twice, and I feel like the day has just burned away. So we're gonna crawl into bed. I'm gonna go take a little nap with him and give him some love, because my poor thing has just been through so much today. His poor little earbuds are probably ringing. But yeah, this is the end of the first week of in January. If you needed a sign to check on your plants and do prevention things for pests, this is your sign. Don't wait until it's too late. It's way easier to be preventative than to be, it's better to be proactive than reactive, especially when it comes to pests. That's something that I've learned the hard way year after year after year, but as I bring more plants into this house, the harder it is to kind of keep on top of things. I mean, just doing this shelf and these 2 exos took me 2 full days, and that's like what, an 1/8 of my collection. So don't be too hard on yourself if you do have pests. It is a lot of work. I do plan on using beneficial insects again this year. I'm gonna try and play around with a few more that maybe I've never tried before. We'll see how brave I am. But yeah, we're gonna go. Raise your hand if you like this week's week of. Raise your hand if you flossed your teeth today. You didn't floss your teeth today, you liar. So yeah, thank you guys for watching another week of. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, because it helps Pudge a lot on YouTube. If you guys want to see more of him, please watch the vlog, and we will see you in the next one.